seen. So this is an interesting and amusing poem where the poet has made use of plenty of puns. For puns, the word pronunciation in such a way that they convey more than one meaning. And the figure of speech involved in this was a PUN. So we call these as homo. And interesting. So can with some examples. So here the question is words that have the same spelling. We'll see the first sentence. A temple fair attracts a lot of crowd. In test was fair. So here in come together to trade, as well as there are other rides and entertainers to entertain the crowd. Crowd means public or people while they do shopping, while they do shopping. Fair. So other in this meaning, fair means in this sentence, fair means average, not very good and not very bad. So here we are talking about the performance of a student, that her performance in the test was fair. I hope you all are understanding. So we'll see the next example. So here we will see the example of rose. Rose is the king of flowers. And second sentence, the sun rose with a golden glow. So in first sentence, rose. Here rose is said to be, rose indicates the flower. Okay, flower. With different meaning. So what? A rose is a king of flowers, and the sun rose with a golden glow. Now we will see some other examples. Okay. So see, this bulb gives bright light. Now we are seeing the example of light. Homograph. So it light the lamp she lit every close the door, to close the windows, to close the door. Close is the verb. Okay, so these are the homographs. And next we'll see park. Children like to play in the park, isn't it? Park, where it is the play. Or to park there. Okay, park vehicle outside the gate. After their own. This type of words are called as fun, or this is of the figure of speech also. So by using these puns or homographs, the poem which we are going to learn is a very interesting and very funny poem. Okay, so let us see about the poem. As I told you, this is an very interesting and amusing poem where the poet has made use of plenty of puns. And this is a poem written by anonymous poet. Anonymous poet means that means not know the name of the poet. So let's begin this very beautiful poem where the poet made a beautiful use of the words used. He made and be fun. Use of homographs giving us a very beautiful poem, as well as this poem is interesting as I told you. So, in a way that one more meaning, it is a figure of speech also just for fun and enjoyment. Here, what expression it, the reader to and we understand and enjoy the poem. 1.3, have you ever seen? So first we'll read the poem. Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of a golden hose? So here, have you ever seen a sheet on a river bed? So here, bed is a piece of furniture, which we use for sleeping. Okay, taking rest. Bed is a piece of furniture, and other meaning is the base of the river bed. Yes or no? So we put sheets on our bed, isn't it? We call it as a bed sheet. So we have have you ever seen a riverbed? Okay. So now second line, or a single hair from a hammer's head. Okay. Hammer. Hammer is an instrument which is used to put the nail into the wall. Okay. You all know hammer. So hammer has a head. We call that hammer's head. Okay. And again, one more meaning is head is the part of our body on which we have lot of hair on it. Okay. So here there is the fun between this hammer's head and uh, our body part head. So here the poet is asking that does the hammer's head, okay, does the hammer's head have a single hair, or does it have a single hair on hammer's head? No, right? So why we call it as hammer's head? Okay, really it is very interesting and a funny poem. I hope you all are enjoying it. So we'll see the third line. At the foot of a mountain, any toes? Foot of the mountain. Okay, what is foot of the mountain? Foot of the mountain is the base of mountain. And foot means we call the end part of our leg also. Foot, which has toes. We have toes on our feet. So here the poet is asking, has the foot of a mountain any toes? It doesn't have any toes, right? So no. Then why we are calling it as a foot of a mountain? So now we will see the fourth line, and there is a pair, and is there a pair? And is there a pair of golden hose? Pair. Pair means you all know two things. Okay, twos. Pair means two. Okay, we pair of shoes, pair of socks. Okay, so pair means two. So here, what the poet is saying, that and is there a pair of garden hose? And what is garden hose? Garden hose is a flexible tube or pipe. Okay, flexible tube from where from which water is given to the plants. Okay, so we water in the garden, right? We use the pipe or flexible tube to water the garden, water the plants. Okay, in our home garden or in garden, the gardener water the plants. So he used the garden hose. But garden hose is only one thing. It doesn't come in pair. Okay. So secondly, another meaning of hose is also means the stockings or tights or like socks. Okay, which is used to cover our legs and which always come in pair only because we have 2 feet. Okay. So it always comes in pair. Two things. So here the poet is asking, is there a pair of garden hose? No. So why we call it as a hose, which doesn't always come in 2 things, which is always single. So now we will see the second stanza and enjoy it. So here you can see students, here the poet has used the homographs and again it is the figure of speech, pun. Okay, P-U-N, puns. So by using this, he have written a very funny poem. And it is funny also, but it's giving us a knowledge of homograph also, how the same words differ in the meaning. So second stanza, does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol or open the trunk of a tree at all? So see, first line. What is the first line? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Wink its eye. So we know that needle have an eye. We say a needle have an eye. Needle, sui. Okay, where we put the thread, isn't it? It has an eye. And in another meaning, eye is a part of our face. Okay, our body. So we wink with our eyes, right? We close our eyes, we open our eyes, we wink with our eyes. So here the poet is asking, does the needle ever wink its eye? Needle's eye, it never winks. Okay, it doesn't wink. But we wink with our eyes. So poet is making fun that does the needle ever wink its eye? No, then why we are calling it as a needle eye? Okay, we'll see the second line of second stanza. Why doesn't the wing of a building, why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Okay, so here wing means you all know sometimes there are parts of building. Okay, name as wing A, wing B, C, or A wing, B wing, like that. Okay, C wing. So these are the parts. These are the part of a building. Okay, wings of building. You all know. Okay, and another meaning of wing is it is also a part of a bird, which it uses to fly. Which is uses to fly. So why the part of a building is called wing? So can you ever imagine that a wing of a building can fly? No, it doesn't fly. Okay. So the poet is asking that does it fly? Does the wing of a building fly? So student, it's really a very amusing poem. I hope you all are enjoying it. We'll see the third line. Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Okay, parasol is here to make fun or small children, we tickle them. Okay, हम उनको गुदगुली करते हैं, हंसाते हैं, right? So that is tickle. So here ribs are the parts of our body, isn't it? Ribs are the parts of our body. What are ribs? It forms chest cavity to protect internal organs, okay, especially the heart. And but here parasol means the umbrella, as I told you. It also have sticks, and when we open the umbrella, we see the metal sticks. Can't you? We see the metal sticks. Then they are also called as ribs. So here the poet is asking that tickle the ribs of a parasol. So here tickle means, as I told you, they tickle our ribs and we feel very funny. The small children, they feel very funny, right? So they start laughing, isn't it? So the poet is asking, can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Okay, it is a non-living thing, you know. Doesn't happen anything to it. It is a non-living thing. But here the poet has made use of the figure of speech fun, and he gave us a beautiful, funny poem here. Now we will see the third stanza. What is the sound of birds bark? So are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Okay, so teeth of a rake. So here it is a garden tool, okay, which have spikes. And so you can pull the leaves from why it is used. We can pull the garden, this rake with the teeth of rake. We pull the leaves and we collect the leaves one side. The gardener use this use this rake. Okay, so it have teeth, and we also have teeth. We use our teeth. Where we why what we use our teeth to bite. Okay, so poet wants to know that the teeth of rake ever bite. They don't bite. Okay, they are used for. So poet is the teeth of ever bite, right? So we'll see the next line. Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? So you all know that hands of a clock. We call that hands of a clock. You know the hands of a clock, and we also have hands, arms. Poet is why the hands clock are called as hands. Does it have any right hand or left hand, anything like that? Okay, so here the poet is asking, have the hand of a clock any left or right? Okay, now we will see the third line of third stanza. And garden plot deep dark. Garden. Here see plot have two meanings. Piece of land, and another one is evil of a wicked plan, wicked man, which have evil ideas. Okay, so here of a land, or can the garden plot can't have something evil in it? There doesn't evil in it at all. Okay, but the wicked plan have evil in it. So here again the he arranged some homographs or funds to make the funny poem. And now we will see, and what is the sound of a bird's bark? And last line, what is the sound of the bird's bark? Bark here is, what is a bark? Bark is a sound of animal, okay, especially a dog, barking dog, we say. And bark is outer covering of a tree, okay, outer covering of a tree trunk. So here poet is asking that why it is called as bark, because it doesn't make any sound, okay. So here the uh, poet is asking that it doesn't make any sound. So why we call birds bark? And in second stanza, fourth line, or open the trunk of a tree at all. Open the trunk of a tree. Trunk also here have two meanings. Okay, one trunk means a big box where we think, where we keep things. Things are kept. We open that, we close that. Okay, that is trunk. And in another meaning, trunk is main part of a tree. Okay, so he wants to ask that the trunk of a tree is called as trunk. Can you open the trunk of a tree? Can you open it? So here the poet is asking, or open the trunk of a tree at all. Okay, so once we will read this poem again. I hope you all understood as I explained you line by line, and I hope you all have enjoyed the poem also. So once we will read the poem again, so all of you pay attention on the pronunciations. So, and after that we will see appreciation of the poem, how to write appreciation of the poem, what are the poetic devices in it. Okay. Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed, or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of a garden hose? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol, or open the trunk of a tree at all? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the bird's bark? Okay, anonymous, as uh, before starting the poem, I said you we don't know the here the name of the poet is not given. Okay, so now we will see the central idea of the theme of the poem. So the central theme of the poem, how the words in English have two meanings. Okay, and if they are not applied correctly, the result can be humorous. Okay, it will be like funny. Okay, by giving the examples, the poet tries to point out how the meaning of a sentence becomes vague, and even if one word is misunderstood. So it makes the reader of the poem laugh, and it is full of enthusiasm. I hope you also enjoyed the poem and you also laughed a little, right? And but with this enjoyment, you have learned about the pun, the figure of speech, and homographs. Okay, homographs puns are the same, but we call in English language we call homographs, and in poetic language it is the figure of speech. The poet has elaborated it by using appropriate words, which makes the poem attractive. And because of this, the poem is very attractive, and it became very funny and amusing, you know. So now we will see the poetic devices. Okay. So in poetic device, we will see first rhyme scheme. Okay. the rhyme scheme of a poem. What is the rhyme scheme of a poem? It is AABB. Why AABB? See here. We'll read this. We'll understand. See, rhyming words. You all know rhyming words. Okay. So in first stanza. Okay. See here. Have you ever seen a sheet on a river bed, or a single hair from hammer's head? Bed and head. Okay, these are the rhyming words and they are coming immediately one after another. That's why the rhyming scheme AA. Then in third line, has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of golden hose? Toes and hose. They are also coming one after another. So BB. So the rhyming scheme here is AABB. Okay. So it continued for all the stanza. Okay. I fly, parasol all. Okay. Bite right. Then dark bark. So in all the three stanza, the rhyme scheme is AABB. Okay. Now, what is the tone of the poem? The tone of the poem is humorous. It's funny, comedy type. Okay. You can write your words also. You can write in simple words also. Okay. Now we will see what are the special features of poem. The special feature of poem is that it is full of fun and pun. P-U-N, fun. Fun and fun. And it makes imagination run wild. So it it makes us to imagine wildly. Okay. So it is full of fun and it's full of fun also. Because in this all poem, in whole the poem, the poet has used the fun. So now we will see this figure of speech. As I told you before, now in Poetic Devices, we are going to read this again. So fun, as I told you, see when the words with the same spelling or pronunciation are used in a such way that they convey more than one meaning. The figure of speech involved is called fun. Some examples are also given here. Where do you find giant snails? On the ends of giant fingers. How do turtles talk to each other? By using shell phones. Okay, shell phones. So these were the examples of figure of speech. Now, interrogation. Again, which figure of speech is used in this poem? It is very simple because this full poem have interrogations. And what is interrogation? You all know. Interrogation means asking question. Okay. If you see the line, all the lines are interrogations. Okay. So what is interrogation? First we will learn. When a question is asked, not get an answer, but to emphasize a point or fact, it is called as interrogation. So here see, question is asked, but not getting answer. Are we getting answer? Okay, we are not getting answer, but it is to emphasize a point. Emphasis means to stress on the point. So, for example, first line. Have you ever seen a sheet on a river bed? Okay, so here it emphasis on river bed and sheet. Okay, it is making out a point here. So here we will see some example of interrogations. Okay, when can their glory fade? Isn't time for atoms flow? Oh, why laments its fall? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Can you tickle the rib of a parasol? Okay, so it is The poem is full of this interrogation. Okay, so it is very simple to find out the figure of speech here. Okay, now we will see. Okay, now see here critical appreciation of the poem. Now we will see critical appreciation of the poem. Now we will see the critical appreciation of the poem with marking scheme. Okay, so here it means to evaluate and analyze a poem in order to have its better understanding. We will understand the poem more better here. Okay, so tips for writing critical appreciation of a poem. You all know how to write appreciation, but we will see here with the marking scheme. And same things, what we have to do? Same things we have to write in the following way in the paragraphs. So most of the time, you don't have to write in points. Okay, what we say, what we teachers are say. If you can't write in paragraph, if it is very difficult, then you can write in points. At least you will not lose marks there. Okay, so see here, first 1 marks for name of the poem and poet. Okay, write in short about the poem. Okay, poem and poet. So what is the name of the poem? Have you ever seen? And what is the name of poet? Here, anonymous. Anonymous means here we don't know the name of poet. Okay, so we are not going to write the name of the poet, but here we are going to write that anonymous. Okay, so now next 1 mark to point out the rhyme scheme. Okay, rhyme scheme, see here, a rhyme scheme, as we know, that see here, first point, have you ever seen? It is an interesting and humorous poem. The poet is unknown. Okay, the poet, you can write that unknown, as we don't know the name. And rhyming scheme, as I explained you that it is AABB. Okay, AABB, because bed, head, same rhyming words are coming one after another. So AA, toes, hose, BB, AABB. Okay, now see, rhyme scheme over. And the figure of speech and tone of the poem for 1 marks. Okay, so figure of speech, like as I told you, it is very simple because the whole poem is have the questions. Okay, so the figure of speech like interrogation, and again one more part, main part which we learned today. Okay, these are the homographs. We learned homographs. Okay, they are called as fun. Okay, fun. PUN, fun. This is the figure of speech used in this poem. Because of this fun, it has poet has made a very funny poem. So figure of speech like interrogation, fun are used in the poem. Okay. Now write the central idea of the poem in brief. Around 4 to 6 sentences you have to write, because it is asked for 2 marks. Okay. So how you will write? The poem is a brain teaser. Okay, it is like a brain teaser. Okay, which uses fun. Many words in English language have more than one meaning. So the poet has created an amusing effect by playing around with such words. So it is like a game of words. The reader is expected to enjoy the play on words and appreciate how the same words can have different meanings. Like this, you have to write the central idea of the poem. Okay, you can write this in your words also. Okay, it's not compulsory to you have to use this words only. In simple language also you can Right. Like in this poem, poet has used the figure of speech, pun, and interrogation, and because of it is like a game of words. Because of that, it is a very funny poem, and we understood about the homograph also. Okay. So next, last, what you have to write in appreciation. Conclude the appreciation of poem with a message it conveys. What message it conveys, and you can write why, or why did you like the poem. Do you like the poem, and why did you like the poem? So here, as you know that we have to write the positive answer for this. I like the poem, and I like the poem, and here you have to give the reason also why you like the poem. I like the poem only because of various puns. Okay, where the words with same spelling have different meanings. Leaving this aspect, I don't like the poem as it doesn't have any message or moral. Okay, so this poem doesn't have any message. Okay, it doesn't have any moral. But this poem is a very funny poem, but it gives the knowledge of puns. Okay, or it gives the knowledge of homographs. Understood? Like this, you have to write. So see here, as you have to pick out the homographs and write their meanings. We know as we have understood, okay, which are the homographs, but here you have to write. Okay, here on the screen you can see the picture. Small pictures also you may draw, but only you can write the word bed and one meaning and other meaning you can write. Like first is bed. Okay, it is a piece of furniture. And next bed, or the other meaning of bed is bottom of the river or bottom of the sea. Okay. Now next foot, a part of a leg. And here the base of a mountain. Okay. So foot of a mountain means a base of a mountain. And third one, sheet. Sheet means piece of furniture or bed sheet. Okay. Or sheet of furniture. And here sheet means a paper used for writing also. And hose. Hose is a flexible tube which we use in garden to water the plants. And another meaning of hose is a pair of stocking. And see, eye, the organ of a sight. Okay, the organ of the sight, or you can write in simple word, face of part of a face also you can write. Okay, if you can't write this, or body part also you can write. Okay, and another meaning of eye is the hole of a needle. Okay, the hole of a needle. Next, wing. Wing. Here you can see the picture of bird with the big wings. Okay, so one the feathers or the wings of bird, and another is part of a building, wings. Okay, so now see, wings which were used for flying, and a section or a part of a building, both have the same word, wing. Ribs. Ribs, curved bone structure in human body. Okay, and a series of spokes and sticks. This is also called as ribs. Trunk, a large storage box. Okay, this is called as trunk. And outer layer of the tree stem. Outer layer of tree stem is also called as trunk. As you all know, trunk of a tree. Teeth, the parts of human body, and front part of a rake. As I told you that we use in the garden. Hands, the end part of the arm, which we have fingers, and pointer of a clock. Okay. Plot, a small area of a land, and a evil of wicked plan. And bark, a cry or a sound of a dog, and hard outer covering of a tree. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed this poem. So in next session, I will come with the next lesson. See you all. Have a good day, everyone.